Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I am releasing 2 backyard videos for you today because I am going to be on Storage Wars tonight. It's Wednesday, May 31st, and I'm going to be on at 9 p.m. Check your local listings. I'm not sure if it's on at 9 o'clock in every time zone, but I am on the episode called L. Ron Yupper, where I am going to be exposing the Scientology e-meter a little bit. Again, I'm not sure what's going to make the final cut. I do give a stress test to Dave, who is the guy who found the e-meter in a storage unit. I do an appraisal and everything, so it's gonna hopefully be a really fun episode. I haven't seen it yet. I have no idea what they're gonna put in the episode, but I wanted to release 2 videos for you guys today because it seems like today's a day of exposing Scientology. So I wanted to make a video about something that I've mentioned, but I never really talked in much detail about what actually happened. But I wanted to talk about the fraud that occurs within the Church of Scientology in regard to your account and how they would debit money illegally off of your account, and how they would also take money off of my debit and credit cards and bill it for numerous amounts of different things, again, depending on the time that we're talking about. So what is it to have money on account? What does that mean? And what actually happened? So when you have an account at Scientology, it's almost like how you have a bank account at Wells Fargo or something. You would have like a personal savings account in Scientology. So say you're trying to save up for some auditing or a book and lecture course or whatever, you would have to flow money to your account. So Scientology would have an account set up for you within Scientology, like on their computer system, where you would donate money towards this account, and eventually once it gets up to a certain amount of money, they would debit the money off of the account for your service. It's like a way for them to like save money. It's your personal savings account. The money is not signed over to Scientology where you'll never see it again. Like, you're technically probably entitled to getting a refund on it if you followed their internal steps of justice, actions and whatever, and they're never going to give it to you back if you ever put money on account. Like, just expect that if you ever put that money there, it's gone forever. But it shouldn't be. Like, it's supposed to be like your personal savings account, and that's how it was always presented to me, whereas I never had money to say pay $10,000 up front for something. But if I could pay like $500 a week or $200 a week, eventually after 10 months maybe I'll be able to afford the service that I was looking to do. So for like the average everyday parishioner like me, I needed to put money on my account to different orgs in different places because I didn't have enough money ever just to pay for something up front. But they were kind of making it seem like money management, the best way to do that is to give each part of your paycheck to Scientology to put on account, so then eventually you'll have enough money to do these services so you can go up the bridge and better your life and all that sort of stuff. So I remember several instances where the basic book and lectures were a very big push. These basic books at the times were already released, they were already out there, and this wasn't like right after the basics were released. This was like a few years after, but they were still very heavily pushing the basics because it's pretty much pure profit for them. They were selling them for about $3,000 a set or $3,200 a set. So when they're selling them for such a high amount of money and they're making them in-house for pennies, like I remember actually mentioning to my Division 6 registrar, like in the early days, I remember mentioning to him, like, why is it so expensive to get these books? Like, if this technology is going to help so many people, like, why do they have to charge so much? What he was trying to tell me was that, you know, like, they have to make these books and use, you know, these staff members and the printing presses that they own and whatever, and, you know, they have to be able to sell it to be able to continue to disseminate Scientology, bring it to new places. Like, they need the money to grow Scientology or whatever. But again, that's total BS. They have billions of dollars, and billions in reserve. So I don't want to hear at Scientology that you need like all this money to disseminate whatever. You have so much money in your coffins at your disposal. What the hell is going on out here? there's birds chirping, there's planes flying, there's dogs barking. I just can't make my video today, guys. So in terms of the money that they would get off of your account, they use this account, and it's very shady because I still have money on account at Celebrity Center, or money on the free ones, and I have money at Flag. And I've written letters, I've used prepaid legal and other services to try to get my money back from those entities. You'd hear nothing. I'm trying to get money back from the IAS, nothing. They don't even respond to like my legal demands, my requests. So I've kind of kissed that money goodbye right now, but maybe one day I can get the money back that at least is on account, because when it's on account, it wasn't billed for a service. It's a savings account. I didn't have that money taken off for auditing. That was money I was saving to put towards something, but it wasn't a donation at that point. So this is what would happen. So I would have, say, $6,000 on my account at Celebrity Center, and I would go and check the balance, say, for example, if I was willing to use some of that money on account to pay for a service or whatnot, and they'd say, oh, you only have $1,000, and I'd be like, how do I only have $1,000? Like, clearly, as you know, as my registrar, you know, because I just gave you, you know, $3,000 last week or something. There's no way that that money wouldn't be there. I didn't buy anything. But say a set of basic books would all of a sudden be charged on the account. But I never received those basic books. Or for congresses, whatever. You know, they'd always have like some excuse of how they made it go right, and they'd bill my accounts like, well, that's money that I have. I didn't give you that money just to use like as like a general donation. I gave that money for my account. My account is for services that I'm supposed to be entitled for by paying you. Like I paid for this, it's for a service. It's for something that you're delivering to me. It wasn't just a donation, like I'm giving $100 to a Catholic church and they use it for however they think of it. But if I complain, now all of a sudden I'm going against counterintention and all this other sort of stuff. So it was like all these different like mind games and stuff, and oh, you'd have to do this routing form, but if you do it, then you're gonna risk getting declared by asking for a refund. It's like, well, I'm not asking for a refund. I'm asking just for you to put the money on my account that was on there that you guys took off that wasn't supposed to be taken off to begin with. I'm getting like so heated right now about it because this is one of my touchy things, is the account stuff. So on several instances, I'm guessing at least $10,000 was billed from my account, or money taking off of my credit card, at least. I'm sure if I go through all the accounting, I close on all those old credit cards and stuff, because like I mentioned in one of my other videos, my registrar had all of my credit cards, all my social security number. Well, I don't have all, like a lot of social security numbers, but you know what I mean, like that, all my banking information, all my credit card numbers, and I already authorized them to be like my personal financial counselor, whatever, so they can call the bank and see where I've been spending money, how much is my available credit, whatever. And you guys on the other, listening to this video are gonna be like, oh my God, like, how could you ever do that? Well, 90% of Scientologists, I would say, maybe less, maybe more, already gave access by becoming a member to do this sort of stuff. I'm not in the odds of that. I'm not stupid and an idiot to have done that. This is what most Scientologists do. This is not a new secret. Now, looking back on it, I could say, yeah, like I probably shouldn't have. I wish I had more, you know, of a backbone than to have given them access to a lot of this sort of stuff. But I was young and I wanted to do Scientology a lot of the time, so I didn't mind if they were trying to like extend my credit card limits and that sort of thing. But I'm looking at my puppies. I don't know how they got in that room. You guys see them? Oop, they're running away. They took so much money off of my account, and not even just from my account, they would take money off of my credit cards. And I've mentioned this before, and I'm not going to stop mentioning it until something gets done about it. They told me before, they have people higher up in banks that can underwrite and approve loans and things that you're not even qualified for. They have people who can do little tricks with money, and that stuff is so illegal. But not only just that, is it not illegal against someone's permission? I never said you can take off $1,000 a week and my signatures on it. Anytime I voluntarily gave money for my account, I would have told my registrar, like, yeah, like I want to give maybe like $400 a week, or whatever the number was. It was never that much, but say it was like $50 a week, $100 a week. And every single time that I would verbally give them permission to do that, I would have to sign a receipt, whatever. Well, how come when they would charge like $2,500, $8,000, whatever, I never had to sign a receipt, and they can bill that money off of my credit card they would charge my credit card and bill it towards, like, say, the IAS or to other different places. Like, they wouldn't put the money on my account so I can use it. Of course not. The money would end up going to an ideal org, or the money would be going to the IAS. Like, those were the places I kind of like would find where the money ended up going to. When you see the credit card statement and it's billed to the International Association of Scientologists, whatever, and then I try to contact them, and it turns into this whole big thing. And a lot of times they would end up with like some Joe Schmo that would be like, hey, like, you know, it says you made an $8,000 donation. It's like, well, I obviously did not give you an $8,000 donation. And you'd be jumping through these hoops to try to find who charged the credit card, and it turned into this whole entire ordeal where sometimes you couldn't actually track down who actually would do that sort of fraudulent activity on my credit card. So I'd have to file things on my card. It'd make no sense to me because they would make it seem like they have to like refund me and give me the money back. Well, it's like, you stole it from me. You took the money without my permission. So why are you making me seem like the bad guy here by trying to file a claim to try to get all this money back onto my credit cards? Like, I'm supposed to be paying off a credit card to money that you guys took just in order to not be declared a suppressive person because you guys needed to rob me of 15 grand, for example, or something. Like, does that really like make any sense? Again, there are so many different crimes that go on inside Scientology like this, especially financially. There are a lot of different other sort of scams that go on of other like loan shark sort of stuff, where, not Grant Cardone, but I'm gonna use his name, like Grant Cardone, one of these like multi-millionaires, would give like bridge loans to Scientologists who were maybe like me, but maybe had like an actual like job, or like, you know, who had like a lot of money to possibly pay them back. So say Grant Cardone loans you $50,000 for like lower bridge auditing or something. He may request, you know, some absurdly high amount of interest on it back, like 40% interest or 50% or 100%, because then Scientology says like, hey, like, you get to be able to do the bridge and you're going to pay back a little bit more, but you're going to be so much more capable and so much more able as a being that if you have to pay Grant Cardone back 100 grand, it's worth it, because now you're able to have so much personal freedom that, you know, what would that money have gone to anyways? Like a house, a car, like messed items. Like, this is your spiritual eternity. They would say that this is your spiritual eternity at stake, and that money's going to be used for bettering mankind. So there was all sorts of games that they would play like that. Oh, so another big thing, like in the past, like it wasn't when I was at Celebrity Center or inside Scientology, but there's a big thing of postulate checks. You know, a postulate is like your intention. So you're writing like a check for, it's kind of like a wish almost. So like, say you write a check to Scientology for $100,000 for like the rest of your bridge up to clear or something. So you write a check for $100,000 and then you post date it. So say today is May 31st. I'll post date it to June 31st. And then that's my postulate. I'm putting that check out there and I'm giving to Scientology $100,000 because I'm going to put it out there in the universe that I'm going to attract and make, and I'm going to have that $100,000 by the time the check clears. And what happened was, a lot of the times in the old days, where people would write these postulate checks and they bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce, and there was issues with the bank, and there was, you know, back charges and all these sort of things that would happen by utilizing these, or they try to use the postulate checks because they hope it would at least go through. And it may not be for $100,000, maybe for $600 or any sort of amount, right? So I guess Scientology was just trying to bank on like, hey, we'll try to hope that that check clears, and even if it doesn't clear in their bank, like maybe they'll overdraft and have to pay it back. So now you guys wonder like why their building's so big is because maybe someone wrote a postulate check and it actually cleared and it went through. Or someone, a loan from like a Grant Cardone sort of person. A lot of those Grant Cardones didn't get paid back, and you have to go through Scientology justice, whatever, because you can't sue another Scientologist, so there's a lot of issues with that. Or people like me who got scammed by Scientology by them charging credit cards illegally. But there was thousands and thousands and thousands that I was being threatened with declare if I got that reversed, like specifically to the International Association of Scientologists and the Ideal Org program. I was able to use my American Express card and other sort of customer service people to try to give me refunds on money that was criminally taken from me. But in terms of some of the other money that I consider lost money, I kind of had to chalk it up as a loss. So what can I do about it now? Like, I don't know if I have any recourse to sue anyone really at this point in time, and it's so expensive to try to go up and after Scientology. There's so many games, as we all know, so I take it as like, hey, you know, lesson learned. Don't trust people with your credit cards, number one. Number two, close all your accounts down and report it as fraud immediately if this ever happens to you. If you're in Scientology and this is happening to you, just close the account, change the account number, whatever. It's almost like a payday loan, and Scientology just keeps hitting your account and hoping that you don't notice. And especially when it's your account with Scientology. Say it's your account with Scientology and you have 250,000. If all of a sudden 5,000 or 10,000 is missing, you may not notice because you have several 100,000 on account. Or if a couple other things are billed in smaller increments, they can get away with it. But if it was someone like me and I knew exactly how much I gave, I was always on top of that sort of thing. So I knew when shady things were happening with my account. But if it's your own personal bank account, I would just make sure Scientology has no access to it. Don't give them any of your account numbers. Call up the bank, let them know that you do not authorize any of Scientology regs or anyone to have access to your account but you, because that's how they also track you down. If you don't answer the phone and they find that you are at Chipotle eating a burrito, they're going to see the charge, or if they're going to see how you're spending your money. So I think it's very scary that Scientology does do that. So I just wanted to let you guys know what actually happens in terms of the fraudulent activity in Scientology. And I know it happens up to this day. I have people who write to me and tell me that Scientology charges their credit cards illegally and that sort of thing. And I was a victim of it. And you know what? I made my YouTube channel and I'm not going to stop speaking out about it. I didn't actually get to tell a lot of these stories, and I'm going to try to put them in my book that I'm writing for you guys. I'm going to try to go to the press. I'm going to do anything, because right now, seeing that you guys still write to me about things that go on inside Scientology infuriates me, and seeing what they do to friends even to this day that have to disconnect from me, whatever. I lost one of my businesses after leaving Scientology, and the more I think about it, I don't want to let them have that power over me and be like, we got one over on you. So there's going to be tons more videos to come, and I have receipts for you guys, so those will be coming for you guys as well. I do have some more footage for you, but make sure you tune in to Storage Wars tonight, May 31st, 9 p.m. If it's in the future and you're watching this video, I would go to A&E TV. I will link it down below, and they will be streaming it on their website. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. Click the little bell for notifications when I do post new videos, and the best thing you can do is continue to speak out about Scientology. Spread videos like mine, other news articles around. Just let the public know that Scientology is a very dangerous cult. So the dogs are barking. I have to get to them. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.